vfl.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Good afternoon. Great to have your company here from Victoria Park in Abbotsford for the round 10 clash between Collingwood and Williamstown. I'm Blair Morton, calling the action with me today. James Trevenose. Go, James.
Great to be here, Blair.
Now, I've just had the toss out on the ground. How'd we go?
I think it was Wallace in the middle. For Williamstown, she won the toss and she's kicking to the Riverway end.
So we got Williamstown and Wallace kicking to the river end. That's left of your dial if you're listening, and if you're catching the action on the VFL W live stream, they're kicking to the left of your screen. And last week, Collingwood coming off a win against Essendon by 20 points, James, and Williamstown lost another game to Southern Saints by 52 points. So we're looking at a clash today between Collingwood, who's on the top of the ladder, having gone down only once in their round one clash against Southern Saints. Williamstown languishing down the bottom on one win, having clocked only one game earlier in the season against the NT Thunder.
Yeah, and Jamie Lambert for Collingwood is really in form. She kicked a couple of goals, I think it was 3 last week. I was there at Windy Hill and she looked a class above. She plays a bit of mid, a bit of forward, and she got a few goals and they were handy in that win.
So Jamie Lambert leading the goal kicking in the VFL W competition. She's got 16 goals for the year. Richmond's Taylor Starr's got 14, and Caitlin Grazier in the Southern Saints has 12. So Collingwood come in very heavy favourites here at their spiritual home ground. What do you think? How do you think it's going to go today?
Well, you'd think Collingwood would win. I was there at Windy Hill last week when they took on Essendon, and coming off the bye, they were a bit slow to start with, but they got their game going in the second half and just ran away with it. Williamstown obviously had a win a few rounds ago in the wet against NT Thunder, and they'll try and get a bit of confidence from that. Obviously, last week against the Southern Saints wasn't what they were after, but who knows?
Now the games today, Carlton hosting Hawthorn at Latrobe University.
That's already started.
Bundoora. That's starting very shortly. Casey Demons have got the Western Bulldogs at Casey Fields. Tomorrow, later on in the round, the Cats take on the Saints in a top table clash. Darebin have the NT Thunder. Richmond take on Melbourne University also tomorrow, and Essendon will have a comfortable win against a bye.
Oh, you'd hope, yeah.
The players are getting themselves ready here on the field now. It's actually a pretty nice day here at Victoria Park. It's cold. It's not too much wind blowing, but a lot of the girls in jackets and pants warming up. There's a few long sleeves on the ground as Collingwood's broken the huddle and Williamstown still in theirs in the River End 50 arc. But as we said, it's a cold day, not too much wind, so when we get warmed up, pretty nice day for footy.
There was a bit of drizzle in the morning, so hopefully that can keep away, but at the moment it's pretty sunny.
It looks pretty nice. Few with the long stops in here. It's a pretty boggy deck, Vic Park. It's heavy going.
Oh, it always has been.
It might favour the Williamstown girls, who are used to pretty trying conditions out at Point Jellybrand, as we start to get ourselves set now. The umpire having a look around as the Williamstown girls get themselves down in the forward line.
Final tips, Blair.
Yeah, I think you're right, James. I think Collingwood come in unbackable favourites. Williamstown are going to have to be very good to be in it, I think, but as soon as this ball bounces, it's a game of football and it's anyone's game. So if Williamstown can be in touch, especially early, anyone can win. So here we go. The umpire holds up the ball and we're going to get underway. As the Rucks go at it, Dudley brings it down. Crumbed off the deck here. Williamstown are nearly out if they can gain a possession. It comes up. Ball spills free. Roaming around the contest. Couldn't quite get it up was Porter. She comes outside the contest and set upon a Williamstown player. Brings it up is Mead. Bottom of the deck there. So we're inner side wing. Travelled about 30 seconds here, not long. As we go up again. Dudley couldn't quite bring it down against her opponent, Ruckman. Ball now on the deck. So a lot of frenetic energy here early. Ball not going far. It's Dudley again. Better at both those taps as she goes at it once more. Free kick paid this time. Going Dudley's way.
Or maybe the other way.
Yeah, umpire pointed the wrong way there. But he's given a free kick, and it's going the way of the Williamstown ruck. She loads up, goes down long, looking for Williamson. Williamson away. She brought it down now. Collingwood Rovers, they've got the ball back. Long kick up to centre half forward position. Just affected by Porter running back with the fight for Williamstown. Now she's got it. Wheels around, had a little bit of time. Gave a handball away, and Williamstown come out to the wing. Collingwood were there first though. Really good tackle late on Kyochi. She just got it away in time. Now they're up to the half forward flank. Nearly bringing it down, just keeping the ball in. Finally out of bounds. A free kick actually paid here. This is going the way of Collingwood and Lee. So Lee lining up, too far away to score, 60 out in front of Ladies Pavilion. Just goes long up the line, looking for a lead. There wasn't much there. Brought onto the deck for Collingwood. Wheeling around, here's Malloy. She gives it away to a couple, has a snap, puts it at the top of the square, mark taken. Collingwood get a mark near the goal square. And going back for the first of the day here is a Collingwood full forward in Alexander.
She's so composed, Malloy. Did you see that? Went one way, then the other, then the snap, and brought it to her teammate in Alexander, who'll be lining up for goal.
Alexander, 45-degree angle, maybe a bit better. Point-blank range adjacent to the goal square. It's a gimme. She should get it. And she has. Alexander puts Collingwood ahead early with 1 goal. That's Collingwood leading 1 goal straight. Williamstown yet to hit the scoreboard early stages of the first quarter.
Yeah, as I said, Malloy was brilliant. Wearing the long sleeves today just shows how cold it is, which is as tough as nails. And she'll be looking for another big game. She had a good game last week. She's only 20 years old, but she is a leader.
That's right, James. And the ruck today for Williamstown has actually come off the emergency list. It's Achimpong doing the ruck today, so she's come off the emergency list as a late inclusion from Thursday's list, and she's rucking pretty well early. Gained a free kick there against Dudley earlier on, who's probably had the better of it, but Achimpong doing well as we get back underway here. Those two go at it. Dudley again wins it. Put it down in front of her player. Just couldn't get it to advantage. Handball went looking out for Casey. She had it. Dispossessed, and Williamstown just gained the ball, but in a tight contest. No free kick paid. It's a ball up. And Williamstown gained a little bit of territory, but we're still stuck right in the middle here at Victoria Park. Some umpire blows. Looked like he was blowing time on there, but we're back underway.
I think he was waiting for the nominations for the rucks.
Okay. So we're back in. Again, not much happening. Ball straight up and down. The rucks didn't even get a hand to it. Pile of bodies and another ball up. So it's pretty dour stuff here early. 1 goal kicked from some of Malloy's
Brilliant
class, as you said, James. But other than that, it's just a tight, nervous game. Not much happening. And a big, strong tackle laid here on Hales. She goes down nearly inside the circle, and still after another minute there, the ball hasn't got itself free. Achimpong and Dudley go at it. Dudley brings it down again. Ball on the deck. It's in real hot dispute. Porter rose well from Williamstown. She's been good early. Tried to give the kick to Strafford. Strafford ends up getting it. Gave it back to Pedersen. Pedersen then goes forward to Porter on the end of it on the wing. Puts a dribbling kick out in front of Anderson, who just gets beaten to the boundary. And it's a ball in on the outer side.
Yeah, Collingwood are normally slow starters. They were last week, and they got a goal early today, but once they get their possession game going, they'll be very hard to stop.
Wonder if that's going to be an important goal early here, because it's a bit of a bog here for now, and that goal might be worth 2 if they're going to be hard to come by today, as Williamstown go inside 50. Ball's on the deck. Just a scrum of bodies as players throw themselves all over that ball. The umpire calls for another ball up. 30 out from Williamstown goal, directly in front. Prime scoring position if they can get a clean possession. Rucks bring it down. On the deck's a Collingwood player. Might have been Lambert. She did well. Gets it back. Now she's off half back. Goes a long kick up to centre wing. Just beaten to the ball. Now Collingwood are out here if they can get it, and they do. It's Scheifler off the deck. Gave it to a runner. Goes down to half forward. Mark taken. Thought about giving the handball off to Bletcher running past, but didn't. And it's Lee. She gets a short little kick, wasn't far enough and it bounced anyway, so she gets it back, Lee. She runs to a really nice position, gives a kick away on the bounce to Bletcher. Bletcher plays on, it's a good kick to the bottom of the square, and it's a goal. Robbed on the pocket by Alexander again, and Collingwood have got 2.
What about that set-up kick? Almost carried all the way, and it was beautiful, and Alexander just got the end of the crumbs and banged one home. So Collingwood get 2 early goals here.
Lovely kick by Bletcher. Probably would have been a goal had it not been affected, but it was just kind of going to be touched. Collingwood did really well to keep it in play on the last line of their goal line. And then Alexander, as we said, just plucked it, threw it on the boot, right up against the line and scored a pretty good goal. So Collingwood away early here, 2 straight. Williamstown with 1 inside 50.
Look at Collingwood's forward setup. They've all pushed up and they've just let Lambert isolated in that goal square. Obviously, they need 1 starting in that goal square, but it will be interesting to see if she pushes up the ground, just stays back 1 out.
Lambert, as we said earlier, leading goal scorer in the VFL W competition. I'm sure she wants to keep it that way.
She just got some X factor about her. Ball hits the deck and she'll be able to find it.
So we're back up. The first restart didn't find much ground. Dudley wins this one. Collingwood just hack it forward out to advantage. Porter's there, though, for Williamstown. Kept it in front of her off the ground. Now a tackle. Big tackle laid. Ball up just inside the edges of the centre square. Inner side wing in front of the broadcast position in the ladies' stand. Just edging towards Collingwood's advantage here. Ball goes up and down. Williamstown player brought down in a strong tackle again. Yet another ball up. Hands on that ball again. She's had it a few times, is Casey. Rove the contest well. Here she goes again. Porter threw herself over it. This time it was Strafford, actually. So the ball just going nowhere in a little bit of a scrum. We haven't moved far in the last 30 seconds. Collingwood, lots of numbers behind the ball, trying to surge it forward. Real scrum-like conditions. So handball now comes out to a runner. Handball over the top, went looking for Shevlin. She got set upon, couldn't quite gather the ball cleanly. Really big, heavy tackle laid by Bliss. Centre wing, and another ball up.
Just watch Porter playing this sweeping role in the midfield. She's just standing back from the contest, and as the ball comes out, she just assesses and tries and gets her hands on the ball.
Dudley put it to advantage. Didn't have anyone home. So up and down and a ball up again.
No signs of Moana Hope of yet.
Is
she playing?
You're right there, James. We did have an emergency in, so we'll keep an eye on that and see who the replacement has been as Williamstown win a free kick from the stoppage from the non-adjudicating umpire who came in and put an end to the scrum and plucked a free kick for Mead. Mead goes forward to centre-half forward. Ball spills out the back. Collingwood roving well. They do very well to mop up in defence. Handball came out to Sleacher. She gave it away to someone really under the pump. That was Kaludi. They want ball, the Gulls.
They'll get it.
And they'll get it. So the Seagulls get a reprieve here with a great tackle laid on Kaludi. And that tackle laid by Malinikis. It might be Malinakis, and she's going to go from half forward flank. Puts it up to the hot spot. Mark taking on the lead. And Williamstown have got their first scoring opportunity for the day. Great lead out and a really lovely kick by Malinakis, who saw her come out on the lead. That's Anderson. As we said, she gets a first shot of the day. She's kicking with a reasonable breeze behind her as well down to the river end. She's 30 out, directly in front. She'll kick from 35. It's a good kick. It's straight on line. Just didn't have the distance. And Dudley...
Ooh.
Happy to see that one out over the line for a behind. So Williamstown one behind. Collingwood 2 goals straight as the kick-in's being recalled.
The Collingwood player claimed the mark, but juggled it a little bit over the line. The goal umpire has called a behind.
There's Fowler doing the duty there. On the last line of defence, did well. Couldn't quite complete the mark, as we just heard from James, but did well enough to not give up a goal. And this time she has another reset. Alexa come down the inner side wing this time, in front of the broadcast position up to the half-back flank. Really well done by Shevlin to give the handball away, but out of bounds. And it's a throw in. So Shevlin, one of a few players today electing to wear the long sleeves. I can't say I blame him. It's, as we said, James, pretty cold out there, and the wind is looking like it's increasing.
Yeah, you've also got Chochi and Malloy also donning the long sleeves today.
Might favour the Seagulls. They'll be used to this Arctic-like conditions from their training base at Jelly Brown Oval as Williamstown go inside 50. Tackle from behind's good. And it's another ball up. Coming out on the lead there this time for the Seagulls was Kawa. Got the ball on the bounce. Did well to keep it in front of her, not cough it up. Kept it inside 50 for a ball up. Roving the back of the pack's Malinakis again. Didn't get it cleanly away, and Collingwood able to intercept and rebound. They kick out to space. A lot in front of them. Wheeling around's Allen in the number 6. Comes inside, gets a really good hit into the middle, gets Alexander. She's been busy early, 2 goals. She comes right up, half forward flank, a long kick, nearly taking a great diving mark was Doherty, spilled it though. Now Mevlin's got it, Shevlin it is. She kicks forward. Lambert's got it, wheels around, gives a hand pass away to Bletcher, straightens, smothered off the boot. She roves her own, gives it back away to Shevlin, just puts it on the top of the square. Geez, I tell you, it's a famous kick for number 35 from that pocket at Victoria Park. And she just coughed it up. It was the right thing to do. Coming back with the flight was Pedersen for Williamstown. Take a strong mark in defence. Went up the line looking for Annabelle Shannon. Just did well to keep it in. Gave the handball into a kicker who's gone long up the wing looking for Reid. Gets it on the bounce but set upon. Did well. 2-on-1. This time brought down by a Collingwood player. And Williamstown do well to clear it from defence. They gain 80, 90 metres and get out of the danger zone as they reset out of side here at Victoria Park. Ball brought down. Lambert's got it here. Swung around in a tackle. Had a hand pinned. She was lucky not to get a holding the ball. Free kick paid against her then. As another reset out in front of the sponsor signs on the outer side wing. Tudley and Acheampong just play a bit of ping pong there as they tap it to each other. Now brought down, and Williamstown do well here running. That was Tripodi, who was a beneficiary of a good handball, ran forward. Now we're at the contest. Scrum of players just rolling forward. No real clean possession.
Yeah, as you said, Blair, no clean possession. The umpires had more of the ball than the players early on.
It's just that was clever by Williamstown there, though. While they didn't get a kick or a handball, they just kept the ball rolling along the ground. Just able to gain some territory and keep the dogs at bay. Should we say keep the Pies at bay. And just get it out of their defensive 50. They don't look out of this one at all, Williamstown, at the moment. As a handball comes out and around, came to Shannon. Her kick was affected off the boot. And now roving is Malinakis. They go forward inside 50. Dropping the mark in defence is Fowler. Now she's under the pump. Throws herself at the footy. And a free kick's been paid against her for the effort. Just threw herself a bit recklessly at the ball. Took the player high. Shot at goal here. Might be going the way. It might be Kawa for Williamstown. Deep in the outer side pocket. It's a pretty good kick. It's on its way. It's pulled across. And Williamstown get a second minor. So some not awful kicking, but a couple of inaccuracies are just keeping them in touch, but a little bit out of it here, the Seagulls. They're two behind.
Yeah, just a lack of polish. They've got the good intentions.
Then at the other end, we've seen Collingwood capitalise on a couple of really classy goals that they've made work, and they've got two straight. But here we go off the back. Pedersen intercepted for the Seagulls, and they go back inside 50, top of the square position. Mark taken behind the contest, read really well, just got in behind the two that went up for the mark. Taking a diving catch was Williamson.
Yeah, she just flew in from nowhere.
Yeah, she read it really well. She just saw that the kick had a centimetre too much on it and was going to go over the elected target. She sat behind it and took a diving gully-like catch, and she gets a shot really close, adjacent to the goal square on a very slight angle. Kicking with the wind. You'd think Williamson is going to kick one for Williamstown. She pulls it across on the left, and Williamstown now go three behinds, trailing Collingwood two straight, approaching the quarter-time break.
And they're those chances you have to make. They've had three good shots at goal, and they've had more scoring shots than Collingwood. They could be up.
That's absolutely right. As Collingwood again come to this ladies' pavilion side on the inner side. Again, no mark completed. And Williamstown able to again reset. They launch up inside 50 to that chaos ball hotspot. Porter's roaming around underneath it, but it was Fowler who got to it first for Collingwood. Just held the ball up. And Williamstown again, they get a ball up, 30 out, directly in front in a real hotspot for scoring. Brought down again. No player able to get it. It's just spilled out. Good tackle laid from the back. And Collingwood and Chochi. Well, again, it's just moving. Now it come out to Solomon. She kicked it nearly. It bounced in the goal square. Looked like it was going to bounce straight. But it's just come across. And Williamstown peppering the goals in the last few minutes. Only getting a couple of behinds for their trouble. That's four behind. Still trailing Collingwood 2 goals straight. It's Collingwood are away off fullback here. Bunker did the work and just played on, ran her full measure. It's a long kick up into the wind. Williamstown regather though, whistle gone, and it's a Williamstown free kick. So they may have another opportunity to score as they get a free kick pushed right up against the boundary line where it intersects with the 50-metre arc.
You'd probably think she's a bit too far out to score.
You'd think definitely too far out, even though she's kicking with the wind, so she goes up again, top of the square position. Mark not taken, now the ball's on the deck. A few throw themselves over. Handball went out, a quick kick. Now they've got one. Williamstown get their first goal, 1-4-10, trailing Collingwood 2 straight 12. That goal may have gone the way of Solomon.
That's the one they needed. They were peppering the goals. They had their chances and they only find themselves a couple points behind.
Very good there from Williamstown. As we said, they had the run of play for the last 5 or 10 minutes in their end of the ground. Really having 4 or 5 shots in a row.
They're having a crack. They've come to play.
They finally get one. I think that goal went the way of Solomon. We'll get that confirmed and we'll mark it down for now. Regardless, it's a goal to the Gulls and they keep themselves right in it. 1-4-10. Collingwood 2 straight 12s. Very close game as the whistle's gone in the centre and a free kick paid to the pinch-hitting ruck in Thompson. She just goes up to centre half forward. Good defensive mark though taken.
I think that's Alexander doing the ruck for Collingwood. Just pinch hitting.
So Williamstown's kick out to the outer wing. They've just kept possession of the ball. Spills free. Now Collingwood are out here if they can get one away. Ball just held up on the 50-metre arc. Collingwood's end. Williamstown probably pretty keen for the siren to go here. They finally registered a score and Collingwood are edging towards their attacking 50. Slung down in a tackle might have been Lambert. Again though, we're not getting much progress. The ball's stuck in that little section of the ground.
Malloy one out for Collingwood in the forward line.
Up again. Picked up off the deck by Collingwood. Williamstown though, intercept and just hack a kick forward into the vacant inner side wing. Done really well there. Was a Williamstown player in Patton. She gave the handball to a runner. Takes a bounce, goes inside 50, gets one on the bounce. A snap kick. This is from Inglis. Just pulls it across. And Williamstown get yet another behind. It's 1-5-11. They trail Collingwood, who have kicked 2 straight 12. And that's on the Choose Tap scoreboard. Last minute here of the quarter. Collingwood will be keen to clear this. Williamstown would love an opportunity for another one, and this kick's no good. Collingwood player did really well trying to get a finger on it before it went over the boundary line. Nearly gave it up for a kick on the full. Williamstown go forward. Put up to the top of the square. No mark taken. Brought down. Shevlin's there underneath it just to see it out of bounds. A couple of Seagulls players want a deliberate paid. The umpire didn't buy it.
There's only 30 seconds left.
Want to get underway quickly here. If you're a Seagulls supporter, the umpire gets himself set. About 20 seconds left to play. The ball's back in, deep inside Williamstown attacking territory. Taken out of the ruck well by Kawa. She snapped it around. Kick off it, nearly a goal kick there. Williamstown attacker, but marked on the last line of defence, and Collingwood with a great clearing kick. Nash stood up in the contest and took a strong mark. She's going to see out the rest of the quarter here. She plays on. That'll be the siren. And that's how the first quarter proceeded, with Collingwood getting a couple of really sharp early goals through Alexander before Williamstown responded with a run of play. 5-6 shots at goal. Ended up in 1 goal, 5-11. They trail Collingwood 2 straight 2 in the opening quarter here at Victoria Park.
Well, I mentioned Collingwood with the slow starters. They're actually the fast starters, kicking the first 2 of the game. And since they kicked that second one, Williamstown were just all on top of them. They brought the pressure early. They were tackling, and they got rewards for their effort. They had a few shots on goal which missed, but they find themselves unlucky to be down, I reckon.
Absolutely. They were kicking with what looks like a prevailing wind. It looks like it's getting stronger here at Victoria Park, as you see some of the spectators coming out now in their jackets and vests being blown around. So
couple in shorts.
they benefited maybe from that wind as it picked up during the quarter.
I reckon it's a 3-goal breeze.
There you go. It's blowing quite strongly down to that river end. So Williamstown able to capitalise on that after Collingwood had 2 in what maybe was against play. But if we're giving that wind credit, underneath the grandstand at the Lully Street end, that Sharon stand does provide quite a bit of cover. So the wind might not be blowing through there like you'd expect. So it's not until the ball clears sort of halfway until that wind...
The last 70 metres it will
picks up and gives it some sting, and that's what Williamstown were able to capitalise on. So better players in that quarter, definitely Porter.
Yeah, Porter was in everything. She was playing this sweeping midfield role out the back of the contest, and she got her hands on it, especially early when Williamstown started pretty slow.
Malinakis also very good for Williamstown. She set up that foray inside 50 they had that resulted in a goal.
Pedersen and Strafford I also think have been pretty good early.
Over on the other side for Collingwood, Lambert's been good. She's been around the contest, hasn't troubled the goal scorers just yet, so she'll be worried about what might be happening in a couple of other games so she can keep her lead in the goal scoring tally.
Fowler's been strong in defence.
Alexander really good too. Hasn't had a whole lot of the ball, but when she did, she's converted it for 2 goals, so you'll take that. Bletcher also been pretty good, and Malloy used it well forward.
Yeah, she set that first goal brilliantly.
Took those extra couple of seconds that are sometimes so important to just suck a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress out of the game and have a look, maybe not take the first option that's there, but wait for a lead, wait for the second, and just use the ball a little bit more cleverly.
She's just so professional for her age. She has that composure and that leadership that can't be taught.
We're still in our huddles here as we're beginning to break, and we'll go into the second quarter here very shortly. Choose Tap scoreboard's got Collingwood 2 straight 12, Williamstown 1-5-11. We'll go to a very short break and come back with this second quarter action after this.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act of thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
It's your job. We'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your...
Welcome back here to Victoria Park for the second quarter of the clash between Collingwood and Williamstown for round 10 of the VFL Women's as we're away. Williamstown go forward. They're this time kicking right of screen as Porter might have had it. Strafford did well. Kick affected off the boot. She goes at it again with a fierce tackle. Williamstown doing well here early. Just brought down. Happy to see it over. Was a Collingwood defender. She very deliberately pushed it over the line. It was Kyochi. The umpire didn't see it that way. It was obstructed from behind as we get a ball in. Williamstown attacking territory. Atchimpong and Dudley go at it. Ball was affected by the wind as it went out. Williamstown lucky have her over in Reed behind the plane, and Mark nearly taken, almost could have been paid. Throwing it forward, here's Kawa. Just looking out for a mate who's on the lead in Inglis.
Chloe Malloy starting to be the Mrs. Fix-It. She's been thrown into the midfield and they desperately need a few clearances to go forward.
So inside attacking 50 here for Williamstown. They go at it. Really well rode from the back of the pack by Collingwood runner. Super strong tackle by Wallace, the captain. Brings about a holding the ball free kick.
They're on Williamstown.
That is gutsy stuff from the girls. A bit of push and shove there afterwards. And a Collingwood player in Kaludi, slow to get up. Wallace this time just puts it up for the top of the square. No mark taken. Now the ball's on the deck. Roved really well. Shimmied a little bit. And a kick, a snap kick from Williamstown in Whiting. Came up and she's got player on the mark. That's Kawa, who's got it adjacent to the goal square in what would be the point square, if there was such a thing. Dead blank right in front of goal. It's the angle that's going to be tough. She's lining up for a drop punt. Kawa. And she's got it. Kawa gets Williamstown second. And they get ahead.
Who would have thought they'd be in front? I know Wallace's kick inside 50 wasn't a good one, but Whiting just made something out of nothing and set up that goal.
So 2-5-17 Williamstown over Collingwood, who were 2 straight 12. And before the game, if Amy Catterall and the Seagulls could have taken a 5-point lead early in the second quarter, I think they certainly would have taken that.
Certainly, I don't think anyone was expecting this.
They look really good early here, the Gulls. So we've got a game on our hands as Collingwood, for the first time today, find themselves behind their opposition in Williamstown. Up we go. Brought down well by the Rucks. This time we're out through Kaludi again. She went up to half forward. Just ball spills free. Handball comes out the back and Williamstown have got it. A massive tackle laid. That was by Casey, and it's a holding the ball free kick. Casey just threw a whole body at that contest. Brought about a free kick from the half-forward flank. Lobs it up into the danger area, just in front of goal. Doesn't get enough purchase on it for a mark. Pedersen roved it for Williamstown. She was there. Now it's come out. Nearly on the end of it was Strafford. She just didn't get the benefit of the bounce. Williamstown player has it. Just rushes a kick out from a tackle. Bit of a snap. Ugly off the boot. And it'll be a Collingwood free kick for out of bounds on the full. This going the way of Laurie. Takes her time. Thought about going inbound. Instead just went straight up the ground. Couldn't complete the mark was King. The ball on the deck. Couple of bodies over. And it's another ball up. Right on the paint here. 50 out from Collingwood goal. Inner side wing. They're kicking to the river end left of your screen. Whistle gone from the contest for a Shepherd in the ruck. This going the way of Achumpong. The Williamstown ruck gets a reprieve on the last line of defence. Short little kick. It's a good one. Gets Payton. She stops and has a look. Half-back flank position. Kick wasn't great off the boot. Got there first was Casey for Collingwood. Another whistle gone, holding the player. And Collingwood this time beneficiaries of a free kick. Going the way of Casey, whose attack on the ball has been strong early. She's got space. Wide kick went out to Malloy. Uses it well, we know that. She's played on, ran to 50. Put it up to the top of the square as they converge. Mark taken. Collingwood get one in the goal square. And that was good stuff again by Malloy to just slow down, have a look, instead of blazing away and having a shot. Put it out in front of the runner.
You can't give Malloy space. She had too much space there, and it was a beautiful kick.
And Collingwood going up for what will be their third of the day if it's a straight kick. 2 straight for the day so far. Really close. Top of the square. Should have been a gimme, and it was. Collingwood get their third. They go 3 straight 18. Just over Williamstown 2-5-17.
I'm just trying to work out who scored that goal.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Collingwood players in the long sleeves today.
So we'll find out who that is and come back on that. But main point is Collingwood get another goal. They're ahead 3 straight 18. Williamstown 2-5-17. And that goal was kicked by Fowler, we believe.
Oh, the defender.
No, excuse us. It was Shevlin who's kicked the goal in the number 35 rather than Fowler in the number 15. And she's got Collingwood ahead by a point. Up we go again. Lambert rode well from the contest on the ball now. She lobs it up inside 50. Coming back with the flight. Alexander's now got a little bit of space to run onto. Williamstown there first though. Whistle gone.
There's a throw.
There's a throw paid, and the free kick's going to go the way of the dual goal scorer already in Alexander. Straighten up for her third of the day.
That was smart by Collingwood, putting Lambert in the centre. She hasn't seen a lot of it today, so hands on the ball, good from her, and the kick was pinpoint.
Absolutely split traffic through the middle too. Alexander lucky with this free kick for a throw, and she's just pulled it. Collingwood 3-1-19, 2 points now ahead of the Seagulls, 2-5-17.
I think that one scraped the post. Umpire called it.
They've got a little bit of work to do here now, the Seagulls. They play on from fullback. Up they go to the inner side wing where the wind's likely to be a little bit less, but Collingwood do really well to give it out to Shevlin. They go back inside 50 now, but Williamstown crumb off the ground and set upon. The ball up. Inside, Collingwood attacking 50. Pushed up against the flank, 40 out from home. Williamstown defenders pretty happy to keep this one pushed up against the boundary line. Ball's up and down, no advantage. Another ball up in the same position.
So Collingwood's starting to slowly get on top now. As I said, that's about a 3-goal breeze, and they've shown that they've had a couple shots of goal and they have converted.
Out of bounds this time, as Williamstown defenders very happy to see that one go over the line.
Good crowding today.
Great crowding. Obviously the double header rolling into the men's VFL clash between the same two clubs in Williamstown and Collingwood. And any Collingwood fans around, I'm sure, happy to come out to the spiritual home of the footy club here at Victoria Park in Abbotsford.
Especially after an AFL men's win last night.
Very right. As Collingwood rushing inside 50, really good tackles laid by Williamstown, and they bring up a holding the ball free kick.
Collingwood were away there.
That one again went against Kaluti, so she's been battered around in the last couple of minutes. Tough warrior though, she'll continue on as that kick out of bounds. Last touch will go in the way of Collingwood. Kicking off the flank is Hales. Just puts it up into the advantage of Alexander. She couldn't get there though. Behind it is Pedersen. Again, doing really well in defence of Williamstown, and out of bounds on the full. It's got Alexander, again the beneficiary of a free kick. Thought about having a shot, instead just puts it up into the goal square. 2 bodies down and a whistle gone. Collingwood free kick for in the back.
I think Malloy will have the shot at goal from the free kick. Oh, no one wanted it. Just
wait for the ball to find its way to its correct owner. We're very right. It's Malloy, beneficiary of a free kick for in the back from her opponent who had a position in the lead.
So will she go with the snap or the drop punt?
Adjacent to the goal square, 10 metres out, no problem with the distance. She gives herself some space, tried to snap it, but made the old mistake of kicking the guts of the ball and booting it forwards. Ball actually still in play. Collingwood player had it, set upon by some Seagulls, and Chloe Malloy with an easy mistake to make as you just don't quite kick the ball in the right spot. Hit in the middle.
You don't see that much from Chloe Malloy making a mistake. Drop punt probably was the right option there. It wasn't that deep of a pocket.
So back on, Lambert came screaming out of the contest, looking to get the ball in the bounce, but couldn't. Williamstown now had it with a clearing kick. Another one out, and this one could get them away. It's a lobbed kick out to the boundary line, though. Nearly out of bounds finally, yes. And it was Shannon who did her absolute best to keep the ball in. Just couldn't. So another throw in from a position we've been in a bit here on Collingwood's forward flank inner side. Rucks go at it. Ball brought to the deck. Strong tackle. Now another ball up.
Play's just slowed up a little bit.
It has. A lot of the energy sort of been sucked out of the game. Some tired legs. Few chances for rotations though, with a lot of stoppages. Again, the ball just travelling no distance. Up and down. Bodies on top. And another ball up. 60 out from Collingwood goal. On the inner side flank. Just underneath the broadcast position. Ball just couldn't get out there. It was Tripodi who had it. And another ball up. A couple of interchanges being made down here by Williamstown. One of them's to get Acheampong back into the ruck. Dudley's been going at it all by herself for Collingwood. Whistle gone. That one going the way of Dudley, we just mentioned.
No, Acheampong. So she gets a free kick just as she comes on the ground.
Well read, James, and it's the Williamstown ruck getting it in Acheampong rather than Dudley for Collingwood. Her kick, Acheampong's, was okay. Put Solomon in a little bit of a stressful position, though, as she gets set upon. Wins a free kick for a high contact. Solomon does well. As Acheampong is screaming at her troops to get forward, Solomon eventually plays on with no one on the mark. Her kick, though, came inbound, cut off by Nash. Nash now goes to the fat side, puts it to the advantage of Build. Build's running on, just couldn't get there. Beaten to it by Williamstown player who won a free kick for her troubles.
Nash had the right idea for Collingwood. She tried to go out on the outer wing, but no one was there. She tried to switch the play.
Great mark taken by Reid here, who plays on the outer side wing, goes forward to a contest, ball brought down. Now off the deck, Williamstown still have it. Reid has it again, wheels around and a really good kick, play on, they go inside 50, up to the top and a great mark.
Whiting. So it's Whiting.
Whiting, an absolute screamer, right in front of goal, 35 metres out.
What a grab, that just stuck to her hands.
It's a great kick up to that hot position, and that is a classy mark by Whiting. Go back for what'll be her first today. She's been involved in a few.
She's got the distance.
Kicking into the wind, but protected by the Sharon stand on that end. She lines up. It's a good kick. All of the distance, a good flat, hard kick, but just pulls it across. Williamstown make it a 1-point ball game. 2-6-18. Collingwood 3-1-19. Travelled 13 minutes in the second quarter.
Williamstown have had all the scoring shots. They could be a couple goals up if they were kicking straight.
Good press going on here by the Seagulls means that Collingwood had to go to Bliss deep in the defensive pocket. The next kick was under pressure. Went up to Allen, but a good contest given by Anderson. Williamstown ended up coming up with the ball via Stratford. She's happy to see it out of bounds.
To play their possession game, but Williamstown's pressure hasn't let them be able to do that.
Up we go again. Big throw this time, went over both the rucks. Getting to it first is Solomon for the Seagulls. And a little kick over the top. It's a good one. Out to the wing. Juggling mark taken by Reid, who's been busy in this little passage of play. Reid plays on, goes up to half forward. Ball brought down. Behind the contest here's Buchan. Buchan goes forward. This is for Collingwood. Bletcher's there. She did well to give a handball out. Not get wrapped up in the tackle. Now Williamstown hack one forward. It's a frenetic ball here. Casey gets it. Plays on, runs her full measure. Nearly brought down in a tackle. Gets it out to half forward. Now Collingwood inside 50. On the end of it's Lee. It's a battle between Lee and her opponent in Merritt. Merritt had the better of it, but dispossessed in a tackle. Holding the ball. Going against Lee. Merritt did really well for Williamstown on the last line of defence. Would have given up a certain goal in a one-on-one. Went out to Lambert. Lambert beaten in the contest and brought to ground.
Lambert's just starting to get involved a little bit more. That's what Collingwood would like to see.
By her very lofty standards, you'd almost say Lambert's been close to quiet for the early stages of this morning.
Oh, definitely.
But she has been busy through the middle and affected Collingwood's only goal of the quarter as she blazed out of the middle. Another ball up. Didn't travel any distance at all from the last. On the outer side wing, up we go. Really well done by Acheampong. Just smashes it forwards. Outrunning there's Thompson. Gave it away to Reid. Reid does well to kick it forward. Getting there first is Wallace. Wheels around. She had a much bigger player in King. She was more agile, Wallace. She would have fancied herself, but the boundary line won that battle.
Collingwood have been playing with 3 or 4 rucks today. They've had Alexander go through there. They've had King, Dudley. It's been a couple of them.
Much taller side, Collingwood, than their opponents today in Williamstown. Perhaps why Acheampong brought in off the emergency list. I have to ask Amy Catterall that one because we're only speculating as Collingwood get a mark at half forward via King. She gave it away to Kyochi. Kyochi goes inside 50 and a mark taken. by a player who was all by herself in Doherty.
What a great kick.
Couldn't believe her
she's
luck.
giving it away.
Gave it away. A short little kick to the top of the square. Now it's got to be hacked off the ground. No one knew what was happening there for Collingwood. They might get away with one with a rebounding mark here. They do. Play on. Free kick paid. Advantage paid, but she didn't want it. She's set upon. Oh, comedy of errors here by the Pies. And it's going to be a ball up.
And holding the ball.
My word.
Wow.
So Nash.
Oh, to Collingwood. I think it's higher.
To a high free kick after all of that means that Collingwood come back basically to where they started in Bletcher. 35 out, slight angle, lining up for goal after what was a pretty bizarre little passage of play.
So the American.
Straighten.
I think that's a goal.
I reckon you're right.
I think that's a goal. It is. The American kicks one.
Couple of goals coming the way of Americans to the Collingwood Footy Club in the last 24 hours as Bletcher gets her first. Puts Collingwood ahead 4-1-25, Williamstown 2-6-18. Approaching the main break as we've travelled 17 minutes here in the second quarter.
Much needed goal for Collingwood. They were peppering a little bit, and that comedy of errors that happened just before almost ruined their chance of a certain goal.
And we're seeing the replay there. Free kick was given away by the Williamstown player.
That was a helicopter of a kick.
Annabelle Shannon, who had it on the deck, didn't give it away. And Bletcher, you're right, made it look ugly, but she got one and they all count. Whistle gone from the boundary umpire in the corner of the square. Are there too many?
Is there a Collingwood player in the goal square?
No, Freak.
Oh, no, there is. She'll just
doing a little bit of rearranging here, the umpires, making sure everything's right. They're satisfied. Up we get. Ball brought up and down. In the middle of the square here. Nothing doing, and we'll get another ball up in the centre circle. Up we go. Ball tapped down. Williamstown's advantage. I think coming out of this though again is a good strong tackle was laid on Williamson, who was lucky not to be paid a free kick against. That's true of the Collingwood player who was just dispossessed too. Now Kaluti's got it on the bottom of the pack. And a ball up yet again. So 40 seconds of not much happening there. We have another go. Oh, again a Williamstown player dispossessed in a good tackle. Kaluti now gets it for Collingwood. Bombs it forward inside 50. Guess who's there though to get it for Williamstown? It's Pedersen. Takes another mark in defence. Plays on. Wheels around to the wing. Looking for Shannon. Did well to keep it to her advantage. Now she's got it off the deck. Gives the handball away to Porter. Porter gets through traffic well. Didn't have any options and just had to kick it up the wing. Cut off by Malloy for Collingwood, who gives a signal to slow down. 50 seconds left. Can they have one more shot inside 50? Alexander's got it. Puts it on the right boot and just hangs it up. Gives the wind a bit of work to do to push the Sharon forward. Collingwood now inside 50. Scrum of bodies. Umpire having a look. And a ball up. Clever footy there by Alexander. She knew she had the wind. Just kicked the ball long and high. Gave it some time and space and hoped the wind would do some of her work for her. We're up and away again. Doing really well to evade some tackles there as a Williamstown player. But a snap from Malloy.
No way.
It's a bounce in the goal square. There's a couple to goal. Malloy from the contest gets her first of the day. And Collingwood get their necks in front. 5-1-31. They got a bit of distance on the Seagulls now. 2-6-18. As the siren sounds on half-time. We've just given you the scores. Collingwood with a really late goal, putting them definitely to advantage by a couple of goals at half-time.
Well, it was a 3-goal breeze.
There you go. Collingwood kick exactly 3 goals in that quarter. As we have a look here on the replay at that very fortunate bounce to Chloe Malloy.
It was just something out of nothing.
Did well that quarter, Collingwood. They had the win, they had the run of play. Williamstown did get one against it, but Collingwood started to gain a little bit of supremacy. We'll go to a break. We'll come back with all the action after this.
We kid out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men. Some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back to Victoria Park in Abbotsford for the round 4 clash between Collingwood and Williamstown, which James Strebenos, Collingwood, had the better of in that quarter.
Well, they certainly do, but we still do have a game in our hands. I think Williamstown are just hanging in there. Obviously, that 3-goal breeze is important. If Williamstown just kicked a little bit straighter, we might have a bit of a different game.
Absolutely right. Collingwood kicking with what we've definitely decided is an advantage in the breeze to the river end, and that's left of screen for those watching on the stream at home. So Williamstown getting those early goals against what might now be a game influencing breeze, probably handy because they're only down by a couple of goals, and if they can use that scoring end to their advantage, they can bounce back in this quarter.
And they play a good brand. They've stopped the likes of Chochi, Malloy and Lambert to an extent. They haven't had the impact that they normally would, so if they can continue with that and just get some goals on the board, then who knows.
We're having a look here at a replay of a couple of ripping Williamstown goals that have been scored. We were saying earlier in the game, Williamstown coming from the second bottom position on the ladder, whereas Collingwood are right up there at the top, having dropped only their opening round game against the Southern Saints in round 1. Other than that, they've been
on the streak.
They've won 9 in a row. So if you're Amy Cattrall and the Seagulls, I think you go into halftime pretty happy, given that you've come up against a game not many people would have given you a chance in, and they're performing really well.
Well, would you take this? Would you take the score at the moment? Would you reckon Williamstown would be happy with the way they have gone about it?
Absolutely. I mean, as we say, there's definitely an influential breeze blowing to one side. It's not necessarily going to turn the game, but it does make scoring at that end easier. Williamstown are going to kick to that end in this third quarter, and I think they've shown a lot. They certainly haven't been lucky. I mean, like that, they've been playing hard, they've been playing well, and they're keeping themselves right in it.
Yeah, no, that's right. Obviously, a couple of the Collingwood goals was just Malloy getting space or Lambert out of the middle. So if you just nullify the influence on those big-name players, then you never know.
Those goal scorers, James, you mentioned Malloy kicked one very late in the half there very recently. She's got one. Alexander for Collingwood has her 2 goals straight that she kicked earlier in the first quarter. Shevlin has 1 and Bletcher also has a goal. Over for Williamstown, we got 1 goal definitely to Kawa, and then 1 goal...
We think it was Suleiman. It was out of the pack there. We
tentatively
couldn't quite see who it was.
Yeah, we've tentatively given to Solomon, but for any Hawkeyes watching at home, they might know better than us. But Williamstown definitely kicked 2 goals, 1 to Kawa, 1 probably to Solomon. They're 2-6-18, Collingwood 5-1-31 as we go into the main break.
So it's only a 13-point lead. Williamstown, we know when they were dominating in that first quarter, they were scoring very fast. They just couldn't quite get the goals on the board. So a bit of accuracy, and Williamstown could cause an upset.
We're going to go to one more break. We'll come back after this half-time. We'll be just about finished. We'll wrap up and go back to the 3-quarter action right after this.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. You'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
Where you go?
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations, plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes behind.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live. Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back here to Victoria Park at half-time in the round 10 clash between Collingwood and the Williamstown Seagulls, and it's a close affair. I'm Blair Morton. We've got James Strebanos here next to me. If you've just tuned in, Collingwood 5-1-31 are leading Williamstown 2-6-18. Some of the better players so far have been, Malloy's been great, kicked one. Lambert's been a bit quiet by her standards, but when she has gone through the middle, been very good. Schleish has been good. Casey, Bletcher and Dudley doing some good ruck work for Collingwood. Over at Williamstown, Sullivan's got a goal. Anderson, Wallace, Reid, all those three have been great. Pedersen, excellent in the last line of defence, cutting off a lot. Whiting, been useful forward. Merritt and Porter doing a good job on the wing, as well as Acheampong, who came in off the emergency list. We're not sure who she's replaced, but she's definitely playing.
Well, there's no man of hope out there today, is there?
It could be an in for hope, but Acheampong definitely playing. We know that. We know that much. So she's rucking and doing a very good job against Dudley. Certainly not being beaten, but yet by any standards. Very even ruck battle with Acheampong having a good look at it. James, as the Collingwood girls get back on the ground, if you were Penny Cooler-Reid at half-time, what advice do you think you'd have for the Magpies?
Well, just keep attacking. We saw the second quarter, they were kind of peppering, making chances out of nothing. So they'd be happy. I think they'd want to keep their possession game going, even though it hasn't worked at times. I think they'll just trust the system. So just, I think she'd be saying just trust the system. You've won, 9 games in a row? So if you keep playing to the system that they've been playing with all year, then they'll get the win.
That's exactly right. Collingwood are on a hot winning streak, winning 9 in a row. Williamstown actually having only won 1 game in a torrential game against the NT Thunder. Williamstown having a little bit more experience in that weather, perhaps, in the Northern Territory. Who knows? As we now see the Seagulls getting onto the ground as well, James, if you were, on the other hand, if you were Amy Cattrall, what advice might you be giving the Williamstown girls?
Well, I'm sure she'd certainly take the score at the moment. They're kicking to what I have called a 3-goal breeze at the river end. So, I reckon they're playing with a lot of pressure. They've actually stopped Collingwood's possession game to an extent, and they've nullified the influence of players like Malloy, Lambert and Chochi, who are the big 3. Mm-hmm. So I think she'd take the score at the moment, and I reckon she thinks that they're within a chance of stealing this game.
And Jamie Lambert, you called earlier exactly right that all the Collingwood forwards in the first quarter had all pushed up, given Jamie Lambert that one-out position in the goal square, and nothing really came of that. She hasn't troubled the scorers yet, but when she's been in the middle, she's been really good. We know how dangerous she can be up forward, and that's obviously why she's there. What do you think is the best option in the second half? Are they going to keep her forward, stay at home? Are they going to run her through the middle a bit more?
Well, I think she just needs the ball in her hand. So chuck her in the middle, give her a bit of confidence. Once she has the ball in her hand, then she can do great things with it. So if it's not working one out in the goal square, I know they swapped her and Malloy. They put Malloy one out in the goal square. So that could be an option that they choose to do again.
Yeah, she's one of those players that it doesn't really matter where she is. She's going to have a lot of it, and she's going to use it well. So it's just about thinking about what's the most important place to have her, because she might only need to touch it twice in the last quarter and, kick 2 goals and turn the game, or she can rack up 15, 20 possessions in a half on the ball. So it's probably a good problem to have for Penny Cooler-Reid when you think about where Jamie Lambert plays on the weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure Penny Cooler-Reid would love a cloning system where she could clone both Lambert and Malloy and just put them all around the ground, because they have a lot of influence when they have the ball, and they've had a lot of influence when they have had it today. They just need a bit more of it, and Collingwood will be away.
Now, as the players get set, we're very close to getting back underway as Collingwood players come off the ground, and Seagulls again, very long time spent in their huddle as they finally clear, and the forwards have got a little bit of work to do to get back down to the Luley Street or Sharon Stand end and get into position. The umpire's having a look around, so we're getting set, a few last people clearing the oval, but we're very close to underway here for the third quarter in the second half of the round 10 clash between Williamstown and Collingwood. Our scoreboard today brought to you by Choose Tap. James, if you have a tip, who's gonna win from here?
Oh, I really want to say Williamstown, but I reckon Collingwood I don't think they'll win it by as much as we think they will. I think maybe only 10 to 18 points.
There you go. James Strebanos, the expert commentator today, tips the Magpies by a few goals. It certainly would be an upset if Williamstown are able to hold on and get their nose in front. So we're back underway. The third quarter here at Victoria Park and Abbotsford's begun. Behind the ball, Casey has it. Gave a handball out to a runner who kicks long up the wing into the wind. You saw it affect that ball, and that's how strong that wind is developing into now. Running back with the flight, almost getting it was Shevlin. Now there's a scrum of bodies over the top. Whistle gone.
Interesting, there hasn't been a lot of play on that outer wing today. It's been all on this commentary side.
Wonder if it's a bit of a ploy by the defensive team to keep the play on this side of the ground where the wind's a little bit less of a factor. Out in the open side there, the wind probably blowing fractionally harder.
Yeah, certainly we've got the cover of the grandstand. So as you said, I remember you said before that beyond halfway, that 70-metre arc there, that's, well, it's not an arc, but the 70-metre, the imaginary arc there, that's when the wind starts to pick up.
So Williamstown getting out there early is a free kick for holding the ball paid, and this one going the way of Collingwood. So you wonder if the Seagulls are going to try and use that outer side wing to get the full advantage of the wind as we go inside, nearly inside 50
is that
for
50?
Collingwood.
It's
King
50.
Got the mark, and you're very right.
Got stripped out of her, and King will go to the goal square, and it'll be a certain goal, Blair.
So that was a bit silly. We'll catch the player who from the Seagulls who did that, as King just took a pretty simple mark out on the lead, was going to line up from 55 out, no chance of kicking it into the wind. Now she's a point blank range directly in front, and Collingwood get an absolute gimme to get further out in front.
And that's not what Williamstown needed. They've got the win this quarter, and there hasn't been a lot of goals kicked to that grandstand end. So another one for Collingwood, and Williamstown will be disappointed.
So Collingwood 6-1-37, Williamstown 2-6-18, as the conditions are starting to set in a little bit here, I think.
It's getting cloudy.
Clouds are rolling in, and there's a few spectators around just pulling their jackets a little bit tighter, putting their collars up.
Good crowd here, I must say.
Of course, if you are watching or even listening, this is a double header, so we're going to have the action of the VFL men's after this. From 2 o'clock, there'll be a bounce between the same two clubs in Collingwood and Williamstown as we're back underway here for this clash. Collingwood out on the outer side into the wing. It's Casey who's got it. She goes up long, looking for an inside 50. Porter ran back with the flight, did all the work, just couldn't complete the mark. Brought to ground. Collingwood player has it, wearing a strong tackle by Malinakis. And we're getting back underway here. Collingwood inside 50. King doing the ruck work this time against Acheampong. No one really had the better of that. Hand pass comes out to Porter. Porter wheels it around, gave it to Pedersen. Pedersen, pretty little kick up to Wallace. Pedersen got it back. Her kick wasn't good off the boot. Bit of a mongrel torpedo. Now Collingwood rebound. They intercept. That kick, though, via Allen was no good. Out of bounds on the full. It'll come back to Wallace.
She's had a pretty good game, Wallace, the skipper for today.
That she has. Just kicking to the end that she chose to kick to earlier today. Down to the River Street end, being favoured by the wind. This time she elects to just give up a little bit of territory, go backwards. Oh, and that kick has had a bit too much on it. Went over the head of the intended Williamstown player, and Collingwood rebound via Casey. Now Lambert's got it. This is dangerous. It's a snap from the pocket. She put it out, wanted it to hang in and bounce, but she just didn't place it quite well, and Lambert gets it behind. So Collingwood 6-2-38, Williamstown 2-6-18.
She'd be disappointed with that. When I saw her get the ball, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a certain goal. She has that X factor. She can do special things, but didn't come off that time.
She did look dangerous there, James, you're right, as she gathered. Almost going to mark her in the book right away. Bouncing off full forward back was Pedersen. Now 2 kicks, and all of a sudden Williamstown are at half forward. If they can gain it cleanly here, they'll forward again. Kawa had it, dispossessed. Now a good tackle laid in a dispossessing tackle. No free kick awarded. The Williamstown player on the bottom's got her arms up to prove she's not holding the ball. And it's a ball up, 50 out from the Williamstown goal. Ball goes up and down. Collingwood player had her head in the hole. Got a bit of a hip to it. Definitely nothing callous about it, but it was a tough bump.
Hasn't been as many stoppages this quarter.
A little bit more free-flowing perhaps as the game's rolled on. This ball goes up and down again, nothing happening. The umpire lets it go, and we've been proven wrong as Collingwood have it. They go off through Hales. She tucks it under the arm, has a bit of a sideways run, and eventually kicks out to the wing. Collingwood player doesn't fulfil the mark. Now we've got a runner. Handball's back inbound.
There's a Collingwood player down behind play. Trainers just sprinted out mid-play to get to her.
Bill's got it now, and that might have been the player who got what looked like a head knock in the last contest. You're right, James. She is still down, getting some attention as Build goes long up the wing. Free kick paid for a push, going the way of Collingwood. And Chiocci, who plays on
immediately,
runs her full measure, doesn't bother bouncing, goes up towards Lambert. Might have been pushed. Kaluti's there to pick it up. Gave the handball away. Lambert's got it. She balances. She could have streaked through for goal. Instead, she puts it up to the top of the square. Mark not taken. Flying in came, might have been Shannon Williamstown off the ground.
She got it back.
Got it. What a goal. I tell you what, we asked early, where do you want Lambert? I think that's where Penny Cooler-Reid wants her. On the footy, in the goal square, because she's just made something out of nothing and got Collingwood 7th for the day. And suddenly they're opening up a bit of a lead.
Wow, she's a special player. She just followed up her own kick. Look, she kicked it into the goal square, then sprinted after her own kick, and it spilled, and she got the boot to it and just socketed it through. That was something special by Lambert.
Very well. She's given a lot of space there, Lambert. I wonder if they're going to put her on a tighter leash. Collingwood now 7-2-44. Williamstown 2-6-18. If they don't do something about it soon, they risk having this lead blown out. And now we're getting a player off here. So a Williamstown player has been allowed on by the umpire early. That's Tripodi. He's been called out to start on the wing, because we've got that player who was brought down in the contest a few minutes ago coming off very slowly and gingerly. So whoever it is, because she's been replaced early like that, it's effectively a stretcher. So I dare say she concedes that she's done for the day. She's not planning on coming back on. Holding an arm. Might be a collarbone shoulder type injury, but we'll get updated on exactly who that is and bring it to you as Collingwood have it via Kochi through the middle.
Mead.
Collingwood able to get just forward as a kick comes out to the wing, and the ball not able to be gathered quite. Shevlin's over the top, pushed, also in about its Hales. Bit of a push and shove here between Shevlin and Strafford, as that Williamstown player, as we said, they're one down now, one rotation. She will be done for the day. Now, best wishes to her, and hopefully it's not a serious injury that's going to affect her for the rest of the season. Hopefully it's just the day. It's Williamstown now gather from the contest. A clever little kick went over the top to Wallace. Tucked it under the arm. An expansive handball. It was a clever one, but it was actually cut off by a Collingwood player. Wallace threw herself back into the stoppage again. The ball up. So a little bit more happening here now. Ball moving a little bit more freely. We got Jamie Lambert down one end, putting on a bit of a clinic for the last couple of minutes. Anderson's got it. She went forward. This is for Williamstown looking for Crawford. But again, there's just a lot of bodies around. It's heavy traffic and they can't push it forward. So, yet another ball up. Corner of the square, just favouring Williamstown's side. 60 out from home. Tap went down. It's to the advantage of Malloy. She wheels around. Her kick no good though, and an intercept mark taken by Strafford here for the Seagulls, right on the 50-metre arc.
She's got options.
For a inside goal. And
it's 50.
A 50 paid again. Ball. And I tell you what, Strafford's just been bumped by Shevlin as she tried to run past. It's almost not that she can gain any more territory, but nearly another free kick paid there against Shevlin, who needs to just pull herself under control here.
So certain goal for Williamstown.
Absolute certain goal, going to go the way of Strafford. She's lining it up. She's point blank range directly in front. The mark is on the goal line. Wind at her back. It's a goal. So Strafford gets one and Williamstown have a pulse. They keep in it 3-6-24, trailing Collingwood 7-2-44. Travelled nearly 9.5 minutes here in the third quarter at Victoria Park.
That's exactly what they needed, just a goal against the tide. It seemed that Collingwood had a bit more momentum after Lambert's goal, and they just pegged one back, and as you said, Blair, they have a pulse.
And that score coming to you from the Choose Tap scoreboard. If you're going to have a bottle of water, James, don't go and buy one. Get your refillable and fill it up in a tap. As Williamstown get their first goal on that very scoreboard here of the quarter. They'll be keen for more as they're kicking with a strong breeze and they want to capitalise on it. Ball's up and down, and now Shevlin's got it. She'll be keen to redeem herself. She's dispossessed, holding the ball. Shevlin having a dirty little...
Strafford.
bit of play here, and it's the very same player in Strafford who tackled her and gave away that. So an interesting little battle shaping up there between Strafford and Shevlin, who were actually pushing and shoving a bit earlier on again. So there's a bit in that. That Strafford kick, though, no good. Cut off by Alexander, who's pushed up to the wing. Her kick going up. Here we go. Shevlin's got it again. Tries to get around Porter. Kicked it out of bounds on the full. So Shevlin having a real crack, but she's gaining a lot of attention from the Seagulls, and the pressure is building. Called to play on Wallace. Shevlin closes on her. That's surely holding the ball. Shevlin finally gets one back in her corner.
Oh, and she just clapped her off after that.
Shevlin really having a go here. We love to see it. That's why we come to the footy.
She's got this nice aggression about her, and the kick wasn't too bad either.
Goes out to Lambert.
I want to say Lambert, but it wasn't.
No, it was
Doherty.
Who saw it over the line.
We can only wish, Blair.
Lambert from there would have been a tantalising prospect, you're right. But it was Doherty who saw it over the line. And again, deep inside Collingwood, attacking 50. The Rucks go at it. Atchimpong had a real crack, but the throw just got away from her. As we see down on the bench here, Shevlin getting an arm around her from one of the Collingwood coaching staff, who giving her some words of advice after she's had a pretty fiery little passage of play. Up we go again in the ruck. Behind the ball was Casey. Played on a lovely kick. Lace out on the lead. Chloe Malloy.
Now, don't go the snap, Malloy. Do not go the snap.
Malloy 30 out. Slide angle. Kicking into a wind, but as we've said, a bit of shelter provided by the stand. So you'd pencil in Malloy from here for what will possibly be her second of the day and get Collingwood out to a pretty good lead as we approach the final break. So Malloy sets herself, wheels in. James Strebanos says, don't snap. It's got to be a drop punt from here. She kicks one. Gave the goal umpire a little bit of work to do. Pulls it across. Was a mark taken? It was a mark by, again, Pedersen, who has been excellent for Williamstown in defence. Takes about her 10th mark of the day. Plays on, and Williamstown nearly out here, but they're wheeling around. This player really under pressure in Solomon. She has to kick over to Wallace, who uses it well, gets around one and goes up the line. Gets a player on the lead. Williamstown get out of defence. Pushed right up against it though, outer side wing, where the gale's really blowing. Clever kick, just put up high with the wind behind it, and it pushed over the stoppage because no one expected the kick to go so far. Williamstown using it well here. Shannon can get it if she's there. The ball didn't bounce kindly. Instead, Collingwood get over the ball and just pile on numbers. Tell you what, if Shannon had got a clean bounce there, she
was away.
She was ready, set. She just needed the gun to go, and she was away. Didn't happen. Here she goes again though, Shannon. Gets it off the ground. Nice little handball. Goes over to Solomon. Everyone seems to have stopped around her as Solomon just goes inside 50, kicks to space, and it's a foot race. There's a few going at it. Collingwood defender laying a shepherd was Fowler, and she got it. Lucky to get it away in time.
That's
and a panicked kick in the tackle on the full as you heard the call.
A goal here will make it very interesting. It's a hard pocket. I don't think anyone scored from that pocket today. Or very few.
The ball in the hands of, is it possibly Low? Plays on, puts it up to the top of the square, and a punch away by Collingwood gets him out of jail. And the recipient
what was a low kick
of that ball was Navarro. So Navarro came off the emergency list obviously earlier today. She's named on the emergency list, but getting her hands on the ball there in the third quarter for Williamstown was Navarro. Her shot no good. We're back under play inside 50. Kick thrown on the boot, but it's out of bounds on the full by Whiting. Just had a shot at goal. It's clever. Out of the stoppage, just threw it on, set it out in the wind, but unfortunately out of bounds on the full. So while we go and retrieve the ball, which is nearly landed in the Yarra River, it's been caught by so much wind behind it. It's got a little pause in play. Finally, we got the ball back in. Collingwood on the last line of defence. 5 minutes left to play. They'll be keen not to cough it up and give away a goal as they've been so good here early. Came up to Allen, did well. Now the handball's out and the kick just tries to go up the line. It's into the wind. Porter. No, excuse me. That was Pedersen. Coming up along the wing, so Pedersen with another great mark for Williamstown. Throws it on the boot, looking for a chaos ball up into the danger zone. Didn't get it. And Collingwood get it. Tried to play on. No, it's a Williamstown free kick. A Williamstown get one. Going the way of Crawford. And Collingwood almost pretty fortunate not to give away a free kick there as they tried to play on.
I think she's going for it.
Crawford should. She's 30 out. Slide angle with a gale behind her. Sets it out in the wind. It's a clever kick. You can see it peel across. It's good kick. She made a good fist of it. Just didn't have the distance, and it's another behind.
Back nicely, that kick.
She just set it out in that wind that's blowing straight through the goals and gave it a bit of room to bend. Williamstown 3-7-25. Collingwood 7-2-44. 16 minutes gone here in the third. It's Collingwood off. Last line of defence. King was a target. Pushed in the back, though. And again, is it Crawford getting it again? No, this time going to Pedersen. Pedersen gives it to Whiting. Whiting just casts it long up to the top of the square. She's fishing. Nothing good coming of it. Williamstown got the ball on the deck. Well, umpire thought about a free kick there, I think, but ended up giving a ball up.
A goal for Williamstown is just what they need here.
Go at it again. Collingwood under siege here in defence, but they've done really well to get this one away. It came by Chocho. She gets it forward, but again, Pedersen is just pushed up from defence, sensed that the moment was right in the game that she needed to get forward, which is influencing the ball well as that sort of quarterback position behind the stoppage, just rolling. She's got the tag, though, of King, who's got her in size. Be an interesting one to watch as we continue on. Ball brought down again. We're inside Williamstown attacking 50. A hacked kick goes forward. Now a handball out to a runner. That's Navarro. She had to chase it. Collingwood gather it well, though, and they're away off half back here if this kick's clean. It is to Lambert. Tried to play on. Eventually did. Little handball over to herself. Gosh, that was good by Lambert. The kick up the line, though, just a little bit too big. Plucks out Reed for Williamstown, who slowly wheels around. Has it all in front of her. Wheels it up. The kick just got some hands on from Casey. Was affected. Chocho's got it now off the ground. No opportunity to get it away, says the umpire, so it's a ball up. On the corner of the square, Williamstown surging forward. You can just feel that they're starting to penetrate the Collingwood defence a bit, James.
They are. A late goal here would certainly put them back into the game if they're not in it already.
Forward they go. Again, though, Collingwood just doing pretty well to plug up the gaps.
So there's just 2 minutes left here. What can Williamstown conjure up?
Brought down. Collingwood here now off half back. It's pretty well done. Goes forwards. Williamstown rebound, though, with a kick inside 50. Here we go. Navarro's got it again. Just keeps it in front of her. Collingwood set in. Navarro lays a tackle. Whistle gone, and it's for holding the player against Williamstown. And Collingwood get a pardon deep in defence. This kick going the way of Nash, who'll be pretty happy to suck some time out. Perhaps not. Elects to play on. Goes up to Hales, who's been busy. Hales now looking long up the ground. Just throws it on the boot. Does pretty well. But behind it again is Pedersen, who throws it inside to an attacking position inside 50. Collingwood defenders do well. Navarro nearly had it. Lays a good tackle. Now, the ball's in real hot dispute here. It's on the deck. Bodies thrown at it. It's willing football. And another ball up. Both sides know the urgency of this little minute that remains. A goal for Williamstown is big both ways. It'll affect the position of the game. Nearly getting it out there was Tripodi, dispossessed, perhaps not. Crawford gets it, just lobs it forward. It bounces and bounces, nearly gets around Laurie. Ended up gathering it, goes over to Chokyo.
Chochi.
She's been
Is that ball? Umpire's going to pay it. He does.
Well spotted there, James, as he gets it. And Williamstown, with 25 seconds left, have their last roll of the dice for the third term.
This is the most important kick of the game so far.
And it's Navarro who's got it.
She's been in everything in the forward that last little 5 minutes.
Yeah,
she's creating plays out of nothing. Collingwood had that clearance before, and she affected that, so she has a chance to score a goal.
Comes Navarro as the siren goes. Doesn't affect her run. Navarro, she's got it.
She's kicked the goal. And we've got a game on our hands.
So Navarro gets Williamstown's fifth of the day, fourth. They go 4-7-31. Collingwood 7-2-44. And as James Strebanos has just said, there is a game on our hands here for round 10 clash of VFL Women's at Victoria Park between Collingwood and Williamstown. We're going to go to a very quick break, come back with all the action after this.
Where we kid out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act of thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. We'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back. Great to have you with us here at Victoria Park. Round 10 clash of the VFL Women's between Collingwood and the Williamstown Seagulls. And it's Collingwood who've got themselves on top, but as James Strebanos said, they got a great goal through the outlet of Navarro late in that third quarter to keep themselves in touch. So Collingwood 7-2-44, Williamstown 4-7-31. Collingwood kicking with the breeze here in the last quarter. James, what do you think Penny Cooler-Reid would have had to say over Oranges to her troops?
Oh, I reckon she'd be pretty disappointed with that, especially the way they finished. I think Collingwood had control of most of the quarter, and then the last 5 minutes didn't have the composure to just see out the quarter and play a bit, keep things off, or just run down the clock. They played pretty fast, and yeah, there was about 2 minutes left and they were just attacking when they really should have just slowed it down and took their lead. And now Williamstown are in it. I'm sure they wish they had the breeze, but they don't. But they might be playing off some momentum now.
Very quickly, if you're Amy Catterall, what would you have said to the Williamstown girls at three-quarter time?
Oh, she'd be stoked. She'd be Very stoked. She thinks they can win it, and I reckon they can. I reckon Collingwood might just pinch it, or not pinch it. They'll see it out and they'll win it, but who knows?
Absolutely right. It's a 13-point ball game here as we go into the last quarter. Collingwood kicking left of your screen, left of your dial if listening on the radio, to the river end here at Victoria Park, and kicking with what is at least a couple of goal breeze. We think it's an advantage in that breeze, and if they can make the most of it, Collingwood will be able to kick with it and capitalise on what is already a pretty decent three-quarter time lead. We get back underway, the umpire's up, and interestingly Jamie Lambert's gone into the middle here for the Pies, and guess who's going to get it first hit out? Lambert. She gave it to Casey, goes forward. Kick though, again in defence is Pedersen for Williamstown, who's been so good all day. Porter scoops it up off the ground. Umpire's having a look as the ball stops up.
Interesting move by the Pies. When they're in desperate need of something to happen, they just chuck Jamie Lambert in the middle, and she got the ball, so she's in the middle there again.
Up she goes. Casey has it again. Handball into Kaludi. Kaludi just drills it inbound, a long high ball. On the end of it was Lee, did pretty well. Just saw it out of bounds, and a throw in deep inside Collingwood's attacking territory. As the clouds starting to set in here at Victoria Park.
I think Collingwood would want the rain to slow the game down a little bit.
Absolutely. It starts raining, that 2-goal lead they have becomes very, very big. As Williamstown nearly get the kick away, but Reid was just a little bit panicked under pressure. Kaludi now gets it, goes forward, puts it at the top of the square. Lee's there, soccers it off the ground, and Lee's got another goal. So Lee's got her first of the day, and Collingwood get one early with the breeze. 8-2-50. Williamstown now 4-7-31. Travelled a minute and a half here in the last quarter, and that's all it took for Collingwood to get their goal.
Well, you think they should be able to hang on to this lead from here. Early goal just shut the game off straight away.
Really clever by the Collingwood attackers. We watch the replay here for those watching the live stream. The kick over the top and a good shepherd laid there. It's really clever by Malloy. Gave the space to Lee to run into, unaffected by Malloy's player. She knew it was a 2-on-1. Lee had all that space, able to just hack it off the ground, get a neat little goal, and Collingwood get further ahead. Kaludi again gets it out of the middle, goes looking forward. She's looking for Allen, who wins the foot race on Porter, but Porter's pretty good, brings her down in a good tackle. Might have had an opportunity to get rid of that one, Allen. The umpire didn't see it that way. Another ball up. So ball up, half forward flank position for the Pies. Wanted a free kick there in the ruck, did Fowler, didn't get it. Now Williamstown are out. Good little weave there as we go up. Good mark now also taken by Reid. Plays on quickly, bombs it in forward. It's a 1-on-1 in the 50 as players converge on it. Really well there for Collingwood was Laurie. She kicks out to the flank and Shevlin's there. Shevlin does well, gets a ball, lays a big heavy bump and then just kicks long down the wing, which is very clever in this wind. Goes looking, gets her player in Bletcher, gave the handball away. Kick up, they go at it. Did well was Porter for the Seagulls. Now Williamstown come out. Flying through was Chocho. She gave it away to Casey. Slams it on the boot. Malloy's there in a 1-on-1. She ducks, weaves, sells some candy. Malloy dribbles it. And she's got it. Malloy gets another. And that might be Collingwood home.
What a goal. That is goal of the day, Chloe Malloy. Just spun out, dribbled it across the ground.
9-2. Collingwood have kicked well and they've kicked straight, and that was Malloy's second of the day. She had a pretty hard tag here in Merritt, as again, if you're watching the live stream, we have a look at the replay. Great handball by Chocho to keep it up while she's under pressure. Quick kick by Casey, just put it out to Malloy's advantage. She weaved one way and back another, dribbled it along the ground under the attempted smother. That is great footy. Penny Coloreed will be very happy with that as Collingwood open up this gap. 25 points now, kicking with the wind. 4 minutes gone in the last. Away they go again. It's Kaludi from the stoppage. Runs all the way to 50 as she gets it on the bounce. Puts it in front of Lambert. And Lambert's going to line up 20 out on a tight angle. to get another score to keep her lead in the VFL W goal kicking.
And that's the difference. Players like Lambert, Chochi and Malloy all stepping up early in this last quarter.
That was huge from Kaludi. The last 3 stoppages have all involved her roving the ball so well, blazing away then that time, ran all the way to 50. Lambert actually pulls that kick. I suppose it was from a reasonably tight position as our poor umpire falls over.
An ankle.
But Lambert gets one behind, so another little bit of a reprieve for Williamstown, who certainly not done yet. It's a 26-point margin that they trail by. They've only kicked 31 for the day, so it's a bridge a long way that they have to cross. They kick out. Porter's underneath it. So was Pedersen. They team up well. Porter gets it now. Wheels around, goes long up the line. Nearly taking the mark there was Inglis, but it's Shevlin who's got it for Collingwood, who's been good. Just blazes up along the line. Mark, was it taken? The umpire had a good look.
I think that was out on the full.
The umpire did have a good position there as the boundary twists around, adjudicated to have been touched. And a throw in as the minutes tick away. 5.5 gone. Still inside Collingwood's attacking half of the ground. Ball goes in. Took it out of the ruck, then tackled. And as a result, the whistle's gone. This one's actually going the way of Williamstown, so might have been a high free kick paid. Anyway, we get away.
Or risky kick.
Very risky kick up.
But you'll get the free kick.
To centre-half back, it was a danger zone to put it in.
Well, they have to take all risks now, Williamstown, if they want to pull off what would be a miracle. And kicks like that aren't going to do it. As Nash has the ball at half forward.
And Nash plays on, kicks it into Shannon on the mark. Shannon didn't know it was coming, did well. Now another whistle gone for holding the ball. And
it's
this
Malloy.
one going to Malloy. And we'll look down the ground. Plucks a player that she wants to kick it to. It's a good kick. Just high up, gives her the wind all the chance. A bounce favours Lambert, but she lost her feet. Pedersen came in with a trusty fist to just see it over the line, out of bounds. And deep inside Collingwood attacking territory.
And that's all Collingwood need to do now. Malloy was smart. Long kick, just bomb it in there and lock it in the forwards. Can't go anywhere.
Up we go again.
Just look for Lambert here.
Ball brought down. Lee's got it, gets through a couple of tackles, put it into the square, but Pedersen there again. She's been so good as this sort of full-back goalkeeper type position, moving up the ground earlier in the last quarter as well. Very good for the Williamstown Seagulls as Pedersen, as she just puts the brakes on that little foray by Collingwood. Prevents another goal, but we're still very deep inside Collingwood attacking territory. We go up again. Williamstown have it now, a clean possession and they're away. Handball back inbound to a runner. Wheels around. That was Williamson. Now they've got it off half back. They kick long and forward. The kick too big though. Shevlin went back with the flight. Nearly ran into a big contest. Getting the ball was Kawa. She might have been a holding the ball free kick. The umpire's pointed, I think maybe the wrong way.
Has been doing that a lot today, to be honest.
And it's Laurie who actually for Collingwood won the free kick for holding the ball, as it appeared to be so, even though the confusing signal from the umpire. Malloy called to play on. Runs into a bit of traffic, but just lobs it up to half forward. Brought down. Shannon's underneath it. Wheels around. It's a good little kick. Just puts it in front of her player in Whiting, who couldn't complete the mark. Now wrapped up. It's a Williamstown player in a...
It's getting dark here at Victoria Park.
Inner side wing is getting very dark, and the rain might be starting to fall as the trees on the other side of the ground are getting battered. Shannon again was in amongst it. Kaludi, though, threw her body over the top of it. And the conditions are really deteriorating here at Abbotsford. Another ball up. We go. This time doing the rucks Fowler for Collingwood. Malloy's got it. Gets herself stuck in a little bit of traffic. Has enough time to wheel back around. Ends up with Shevlin. Shevlin kicks up along the line. The wind got hold of it and pushed it out of Lee's reach. Out of bounds. Last touch rule means that Williamstown get the kick. They kick inbound. Turned over nearly. Scrummer bodies over the top.
I've liked Shevlin's game this afternoon. She's played with aggression, bit of fear.
She's been very good, Shevlin. As we go up, Fowler won it down. Malloy again kicks it off the ground. Got her own roving, hacks it. Kick was affected big time by the wind and out of bounds deep in the pocket. That player, just to confirm from earlier on, is Mead, who's on the bench with a lot of ice on her left shoulder. So if you're a Williamstown fan, Mead is definitely done for the day, which is down to rotation, but hopefully not injured for much longer of the season, with still quite a few games left to play. We've travelled 10 minutes of the last quarter here in this game. We're still deep inside Collingwood territory as they just start to make this margin, James, look insurmountable.
Well, yeah, I think the rain is just starting to come down now, so it'll be very hard for Williamstown to come back with the weather like this as the ball just trickles out of bounds. It'll be a free kick and it'll go the way of Williamstown.
And that free kick...
It's Porter.
Going the way of Porter. You're right, James, as she... So look up the ground, just puts it up. Oh, the wind has really affected that kick. Luckily, Whiting was there to have a bite. Tries to bustle her way through a few. She's dragged in, and Collingwood catch one there as Whiting gives away a free kick for out of bounds on the full, for holding the ball, excuse me. Free kick going the way of Bunker, as a few of the spectators retreat into their own bunkers. That kick just pushed away by the wind. You can hear it coming through the effects mic. The wind has turned Arctic. It's circulating around Victoria Park here as the rain starts falling.
We're just lucky we're nice and warm in this box.
We're very lucky here to have the box, and that ball up is just blown nearly sideways in the wind. It's blowing directly now into the broadcast position if you're watching at home, so it's coming across the ground from the city.
Yeah, a bit of right to left.
Off the bay. Big, strong southerly, and a free kick's been plucked here to Collingwood after all that. They lob it up inside, and a mark nearly completed. She did all of it, just didn't bring it down. Anderson swooped in from the Seagulls, and Collingwood player there was Doherty, who just couldn't complete the mark. Did a really good job. Back under play, Malloy's here. Pedersen did really well to keep Malloy away from the ball. Big handball comes over as the rain really starts falling now. Whistle gone. Mark. It's taken by Collingwood. They handball back around and they're out. Lob up inside 50 to Doherty. Couldn't complete it. It was a good smother from behind in Reid. Now hacked out by Pedersen. Brought down by Whiting. Runner's got it. This is Porter. Kick came off the side of the boot. It was a mongrel torp. Actually not too bad looking for Inglis, who just kept it in, but it was to a disadvantage because Alexander swooped for the Magpies. Then coming through is Hales. She coughed it up. Ball in dispute. Carr was throwing herself over it, but Collingwood mop it up again. Again to Alexander, who sells one too many candies, put Hales under the pump, and then a panicked Collingwood kick got as far as Wallace, who dropped it, had to play on, kicks it out in front of Navarro. So Navarro's got a bit of space here, set upon though by Bliss, and a scrum ensues at Williamstown's true centre-half forward position. And it's a ball up.
The rain is coming down sideways.
And that shows you where that wind is coming from. Right from the city end, blowing across the ground now, favouring no end. And really giving Collingwood an advantage. As you can see it in your screens there if you're watching at home, it's some very strong rain blowing in, and it'll just turn the conditions really wet and boggy here and effectively give Williamstown no hope. 6.5 to play. They trail by lots. It's a big kick now, goes up for Collingwood. Just a kick and hope, really. It's out in front of Lee. She slashed it off the deck too. Getting there really quickly is Fowler. Kept it in. Then probably decided she maybe didn't want to keep it in, but had to. A couple of players down here behind the ball. One particular Williamstown player looks injured. Now Collingwood back off the stoppage. Off the ground, a clever kick there by the Williamstown player. Just bounces and goes to touch. Clever wet weather footy that. Just get it forward off the deck. The Williamstown players getting some attention, and that angle, if you're watching on the live screen, you can see that rain really coming down now here at Victoria Park.
And all of the crowd has just moved undercover.
Trip free kick paid here to to Allen for Collingwood. She just goes forward. Really good kick to Doherty. Doherty takes a diving mark and then has a bit to say about it as she gains some attention.
There's options on the outer wing.
That's where she goes. Good mark. Out in front is Nash. She's taken a few of those today, Nash. Plays on. Oh, she doesn't know someone's behind her. She nearly got dispossessed, just got the kick out in time. Now Shannon's got it. Good little handball went inside to Wallace. Collingwood, though, regain the ball. They get it through Alexander, who's playing that sweeping role. Kick to centre-half forward. Plays on. Ball dribbling along the deck now. It was Hales who gave it up. Coming in to get it. Collingwood player snaps. Fowler sprays it out of bounds on the full to keep another...
She had more time than she thought.
She did, and kept that...
She could have just sized it up. But the rush kick went out on the full towards the Whiting direction. And another kick out on the full.
We have a look at that. That shows you a little bit about the wind. That was a good kick, but the wind just took hold of it, blew it out of bounds. And Collingwood benefit now from that. It's Shevlin who's got it in the long sleeves. Wheels around, it's a good kick, puts it up to the top of the square. They all fly at it. Ripping mark, though, taken by the ruck in Acheampong for Williamstown. Came off the emergency list from Thursday.
And she's held her own today against 3 Collingwood ruckmans.
Absolutely has. As that kick goes nearly out of defence for Williamstown. They wheel around and they just get another hacked one up. Player running at it, couldn't get the mark, was Navarro. Now Collingwood can rebound. Comes to the trusty hands of Casey, who's used it well all day. Goes back out to Malloy. Malloy's pressed out on the wing. She's got a bit of coverage, though. Little stab kick went up to Shevlin.
Yeah, on her non-preferred there on her left foot. She was composed enough, but didn't pull it off.
Out of bounds on the full in the end.
She did have 3 to beat as well.
So a long kick up from Tripodi into the wind. Had it all to do, and the Collingwood player there, very, very happy to see it just bounce out of bounds, was Casey, because she knew she was going to be the recipient of her last touch. Free kick, retreats some ground. That went to Laurie. Laurie again just retreats a little bit of ground into her own defensive 50. 17 minutes gone here in the last quarter, so the game's wrapped up. We're ticking deep into junk time. Came up off the deck through Buchan. Handball no good. Scrum of bodies on this one. And the umpire finally puts an end to it by calling the ball up.
Williamstown won just a late goal to make the scoreboard somewhat respectable. They've been trying hard all day. Which means time should stop.
Behind play, because there is a player down in the opposing goal square. So we're not there just yet. Williamstown handball from Navarro. Put Tripodi under real pressure, dragged down in a big tackle.
And they'll stop all play now. The umpire furthest of field has just called play to stop as the stretcher's been on. So I think time stops here. I think the rules are once a stretcher gets on the field, time stops. So the clock will run past the 20-minute mark. Maybe. Because the clock should stop now that the stretcher has come on.
And the player down must be in some trouble, because she's attended by a number of trainers, and I think she's definitely going to be stretchered off. We're not sure who it is. Let's hope it's okay. So play can get resumed soon and the player will be all right. Play definitely has stopped. Our clock has also stopped on the play clock. Both.
Now the players are just getting into little huddles. Only a minute and a half to play once play resumes.
So James, if you're either coach here, what advice are you giving? I mean, Collingwood seem to be home, but Williamstown coach Amy Catterall, what are you telling the players?
Well, there's not much to do now. There's only a minute and a half. Maybe just one more goal to make the scoreboard respectable. They've tried hard all day. They probably get a pass mark for their performance. But no, they've been good, Williamstown, but Collingwood just kicked away early in that last quarter, and they will take home the win today.
Yes, they will. So really starting to be slightly concerned by the player down here. Hopefully, I mean, we all certainly hope that everything's all right and that no serious injury has been made.
Chloe Malloy taking a quick water break. She's going to get a few waters in the 1.5 minutes.
So we're got the stretcher up, and that player is coming off as our camera just wheels around to that. It might be a bit of a long walk off here, I suspect, because the trainers are walking directly up the middle of the ground. So could be a long walk here. Player, we're still not sure who it is or for what.
It is a Collingwood player. Black shorts.
Type of injury it was. But perhaps...
I'm just trying to look in the huddle to see what player's not there.
We're all getting some attention here from the trainers. Collingwood trainer just comes out to have a look. And just have to bear with us here for a little moment while this player gets the attention of her teammates, who all come over, give her their best wishes. And as we said, the player, we're not sure who it is, but they're getting, I imagine, everyone's best wishes at home and on the stream. Everyone watching, hoping for the best here, as you never like to see a player be injured at a sporting match, and especially not stretch it off.
So the win suddenly becomes a bit bittersweet. It's not what you want to see, a player down in the last minute and a half of the game. But let's hope she's okay.
As the camera still follows that player off, we're very nearly there, and we've got a few players again starting to take their position, because as you can see on the clock there, it's 18 minutes and 12 seconds the clock stopped at. Of course, in the VFLW we play 20-minute quarters, no time on. So as soon as we get to 20 minutes, that will be the siren. So there is 1 minute and 38 seconds to play. And very, very shortly we'll be back underway here, as Collingwood are inside 50 and they might have one last foray at goal. Players starting to get set. It's going to be a ball up, of course, from where that last stoppage occurred, which is 30 out, directly in front of Collingwood goal. We're all getting set there now. So we have a look round. Malloy's right behind the ball. As unfortunate player gets a deserved clap off, and as we've said a few times now, in everybody's hope and wish that she is okay after today. As we go back up, players go at it. Brought down. Wheels around was Casey. Casey just lobs it up, and a good mark going back with the flight taken by Kyocho. And she's got some time, but just have a look. Out to side wing was the kick. Allen was the target. Brought down. Now Allen brings it to ground. There's a few players there. No one gets it. Allen drags it in. She might give away a free kick here. She will. Holding the ball against Allen. Just dragged in the ball off the deck. Didn't want to give it away.
Just coming in that it was Fowler with that injury. So she's had a good game today. Best wishes to her for a recovery.
So Fowler came off in what looked like a little bit of a tackle perhaps. So maybe it's hard to say what type of injury, but as we say to Fowler, we hope she's doing well. Another ball decision being paid, this one going against Collingwood to the advantage of Anderson, who won the holding the ball free kick. She gives a little stab pass into Navarro. Navarro couldn't get the mark. The players set in. Some tired bodies out there now.
The last play of the game just about. Can Williamstown get a late goal just to put some respect on the scoreboard?
So we're ticking deep into the last dying stages of the game. There is a sense that the game is sort of already finished here amongst certainly the spectators, perhaps the players as well, as we're ticking down closer. Ball goes up, ball down again. Williamstown player wrapped up.
And Whiting will get one last look at goal.
She gets a free kick for her troubles there, Whiting. She's going to kick after the siren in a shot that will keep some respectability about the score, but it will not affect the overall outcome. She goes back.
She's been good today, Whiting.
She's been very good. It'll be her first goal of the day. She's been involved in quite a few set-up lots. It'll be her first goal of the day if she kicks it.
Williams king on the mark.
Town's 5th. She's going to kick after the siren. Collingwood fans celebrate.
She's got it.
It's a good, true kick. It's just pulled across.
Shaved the post.
So Whiting kicks it behind. And that is that, as Collingwood finished the game winning pretty easily, as many would have expected coming into the game. The scoreline probably doesn't fairly show just how well the Williamstown girls toiled away, especially in the early half of the game, and they really performed well today.
Yeah, Williamstown gave it their all. I think if they kicked straight, it would have been a much closer game. Three-quarter time, I thought they were a chance, but Collingwood kicked those 2 early goals in the last quarter and run away with the game, and well-deserved victory.
So Collingwood win 9-3-57, Williamstown 4-8-32. Goal scorers: Malloy for Collingwood kicked 2, Lambert 1, Alexander 2, Shevlin got 1, Bletcher 1, Lee also kicked a single, as well as King. Over for the Seagulls, all single goal kickers to Solomon, we think, we're pretty sure Solomon, but that one could be confirmed. Also Stratford, Kawa and Navarro. Now Collingwood wrap up a 10 straight winning streak, and their position on the top of that is only in question by what happens tomorrow out at Deakin University, where the Geelong Cats take on the Southern Saints. The Southern Saints win that one, they keep on the same points as Collingwood as well. So Collingwood really making a mark as the top performing side here in the VFL W. That finishes up our round 10 clash. That's all for today. We're going to finish it up. I've been Blair Morton. James, thanks very much.
Yeah, good to be back. It was a great game, and looking forward to the rest of the season.
We're going to roll out of this, and thanks for your company here from Victoria Park for the VFL W clash between Collingwood Magpies and Williamstown Seagulls, which Collingwood won easily in the end.
We're going to catch up now with Gab Pound, currently running around with Carlton's VFL W. Would you be familiar with Gab from the AFL?